Hi, in this video, we'll be talking about tuples. A tuple is an immutable sequence of objects. The features of tuples. Tuples are immutable. You can't change, add, or remove any element. Tuples are defined via parentheses instead of square brackets. Square brackets are used to access the elements of tuples. Tuples are faster than lists. Tuples are safer because you can't accidentally change any element. Unlike lists, tuples can be used as keys in dictionaries. A tuple containing two elements is referred to as a two-tuple, a tuple with three as a three-tuple, and so on. So let's define a tuple. Numbers equals parentheses 2, 6, 15, 7, for example. Let's access its second element. Just like with lists and strings, we use square brackets. This is the second element. Now let's try to modify the tuple. Numbers at index 2. Let's change this value to 4. Let's try to do it. We get an error. Tuple object does not support item assignment. This is because tuples are immutable. Now, although it's impossible to modify a tuple, you can still modify its particular elements provided they are mutable. Here we have a tuple containing lists. Lists are mutable. And now first, let's try to modify the tuple by replacing the first list here by a new one. So personal data at index 2, so 0, 1, 2, this is our list, and this list should be replaced by this list. Well, we get an error. Tuple object does not support item assignment again. So it doesn't work because tuples are immutable. On the other hand, lists are mutable. This means they can be modified even when inside a tuple. So, let's try to do something like this. Personal data at index 2, which is our list and David. And now, let's append something to it. Append Mary. Okay. Let's also modify the second list. Let's change this to 1995, for example. So personal data at index 3, at index 1. So this is index 3. And this is index 1 inside this list. And this should be changed to 1995. Okay. So this time it works. Have a look. Personal data. Here, these two lists have been modified. So we can modify lists, because they are mutable, inside a tuple. And now how about this? How about changing San Francisco to San Diego? Well, we can do it like so. Personal data at index 3, which is this list, at index 0, which is this string, and then a slice from index 4 to the end. So this part should be changed to Diego. Well, we get an error. This is because strings are immutable, and this is a string. So after all these modifications, our personal data tuple looks like so. Now, if you need a tuple with just one item, you have to add a comma after this item. Otherwise, you won't be able to access it. Have a look. A equals 2 comma. This is a one-element tuple. Now you can access this element. A with index 0. You get this element. If you don't put a comma at the end, look what happens. B equals 2. And let's try to access this element, B with index 0. An error. This is because here, this is not treated as a tuple. It's treated as an integer. So you can use it like an integer. For example, B plus 3 equals 5. It's just an integer in parentheses. Now let's define a tuple like so. C equals word, comma. So this is a one-element tuple with a string. And you can easily access this element, C with index 0, word. But let's try not to put the comma at the end. So D equals word, no comma here. And now let's try to access this element like so. D with index 0. And what we get is just W. This is because this is not a tuple. This is just a string in parentheses. It's treated like a string. So here you're accessing the first element of the string. You can define an empty tuple like so. A equals an empty pair of parentheses. This is a tuple. You can check it out. Tuple, yes. Now tuples can be used to assign multiple variables in one go. Have a look at this. First name, last name, age equals, and here I have a tuple. This is used to assign these three elements to these three corresponding variables. Now let's check it out. First name, Brenda. Last name, Hobbs. And age, 35. Okay, that's it for this video. If you like it, a thumbs up would be great. Also, make sure to subscribe for future videos. If you want to leave a comment or ask a question, you're welcome to do so. Thanks for watching.